Alright, y'all. We are back with some more Citizen Sleeper. What did we do last? Damn! Look at those rolls! What the hell? Okay. Insane. Alright. Yeah, the last thing we did was help out. We got yelled at by Peter. Hold on. Yeah, Peter yelled at us a little bit. Hold this forward a little bit here. I think this is where Peak was, maybe? No. We gotta repair the systems. Aki. Okay, that's who it was. This is Peak's researching. Okay, so we just need to wait. That's nice to not have that to worry about. So we pretty much gotta do everyone else in order to get that. So I say we do the docking axis first. And I don't think you need more than one of those, so we should be good. Like, I don't think you need to do both. So I think if we go and try to get spores, which will be super easy. Be nice to get 2 of them, which we did. Oh wait, so do we actually need 6? We're gonna do a little role playing. We want to buy a ship mine core for 240. Yikes. The lowest amount of money we've had in a while, but that's all right. All right, y'all, here we go. Get some spores. One of the ships trying to establish a mushroom farm. That'll help. One of the Singer crews is looking for a ship mine to replace their flux damaged core. Easy. Okay. As you cross the axis, looking for a shuttle to take you back to the ruined cordon, you spot Peter standing at the edge of the central hub. Something about the way he is leaning against the rail, looking down across the axis and towards the blinking lights of the flotilla beyond, makes you pause. He is completely still, his head drooping low and his shoulders hunched high. Let's approach him. You lean on the railing a little way from Peter, leaving a gap between you two. This close, you can see the blank stare in his eyes, the way his hands hang limply in front of him. He takes a minute to notice you. Sleeper. He inhales sharply. Still hanging around? Are you okay? Peter pauses. Not really. No. Peter closes his eyes. You can feel his mind whirring, the thoughts refusing to be still. You know, Sleeper? He says without opening his eyes. No one asked you to come here. He clenches his jaw. So why don't you just get lost? He looks directly at you, his stare a challenge. I'm not going to tell him to shut up. When you refuse to take the bait, he turns away, looking out across the docking axis once more. He loosens his jaw, the tension leaking out of him like radiation. You wait. After a while, he speaks. I'm tired, Sleeper. Tired of everything. I'm tired of the empty paternalism of Hearth. I'm tired of the paranoid whining of the crews. I'm tired of endless cycles that look the same, smell the same, feel the same. I'm tired of running, of hiding, of fixing every shitty thing that breaks out here. His shout echoes a little in the hub, but few stop to look. He looks down at his feet. I get it. Peter nods. I'm sorry, Sleeper. He sighs. Something is... I don't feel okay. Just tired, I think. Really tired. He stands. I'm gonna go. He looks at you and sniffs. Get some sleep. Sleep well. Peter nods slowly, turning away. He raises a hand and drifts away towards the center of the hub. You turn back to the railing, not wanting to watch him go. Seeing him like this, you prefer not to stare. The traffic of the Axis rumbles on as you watch, under an endlessly shining sun. The same air recycled through all of these lungs, the same dust gathering speck by speck on the windows. You take a sharp breath, stand straight, and get moving, before the inertia of it all gets to you. What the hell? Axis assistance. We could knock out this dude's first. The Axis houses an overflowing job board of engineering tasks requested by the crews. You can help out here. That would be sick, because that'll get us some scrap. Let's do it. Let's use them all. Where's our scrap? There it is. There we go. There's another one. Alright, let's finish out the day at the Briar Base Camp. We do want to harvest the fungi as well. Which I think we can do here. Oi! Get back in there. Get us something good, please. Matsutakis, I'll take. More Matsutakis. Okay, so actually, now that I think about it, wasn't there a node over here that we needed to hit? Oh, there it was. We already got it. Okay. It's true. It's true. It's true. Hey, I'll take it. No, we're doing the 3. So we'll turn it into a 4. Fungus healed. Condition went down? Interesting. Okay, let's head back over to the main. And Lemon Mina's unit. Dude, I can't believe that we fucked that up. Export. We can take the Matsutakis. All right. Input scrap components. No, I'm good on that. Was it the tea house where you could maybe get... I swear there was a place where you could, like, potentially get those parts. Buy some scrap. Alright. Buy some scrap. There we go. That's what I was waiting on. Okay. Alright, that's done. So we got a decent amount of scrap. We can head over. And we'll try to knock out more of the docking axis. Wait, do we have a certain amount of... We don't have a certain amount of time. Dust houses. We could do this. Crew won't let you in, but there are plenty of supporting systems. We get some money for this. Yeah, we can knock out a couple more. There's the Briar. Do some self-repair. There we go. It's alright. I think we should get some food first. Just give us 3. Whatever, that's enough. Alright, let's head on over. We could just knock this out right off the bat. It's risky. Oh, I fucking knew it was only gonna give us 1. That's so annoying. Yeah, we're doing it. I don't care. There we go. Aki. Let us do this real quick. Oh, you dirty dog. Nah, that's not worth it. There's nothing else I can do with it, though. I guess I could sunbathe. Okay. I see you've been contributing. Aki stands next to you at the dust house window. I was unsure what to expect when we joined the flotilla on its voyage to the Eye, but after the journey across the system, then the quarantine, and then the flux reaching all the way out here too. Aki stops herself. Thank you. She bows a little. The other ships have only been interested in sending us supplies, but we grow all we need. She gestures at the dust house. What the dust houses need, that is the problem that concerns us. She smiles and turns to you. Shall we go inside? Into the dust house? Where else? She taps away at a panel by the window. Seems only fair that after your help with the support systems, you get to see what it is that you are maintaining. Aki leads you to an opening beside the window. You pass through a dark changing room. You notice Aki is sliding on an oxygen mask and visor. She looks at the swirling dust inside. Inside, it's just like Ember's Step. Thin atmosphere, constant dust storms. Nothing that will bother you. She passes you a mask. The dust isn't exactly pleasant to inhale. However, so take this. You hold it to your face. She leads you through a short decontamination tunnel with its fizzing panels of purifying light and then through into the dust house. Immediately, the wind and the heat hits you. You feel the rough waves of dust scattering across your face and peer through the amber murk. Your feet slide on shifting piles of sand. Welcome to Step, or an emulation of it at least. Aki's voice sounds distant, echoey. The terraforming process only managed to provide a limited atmosphere around the moon, one which is slowly escaping. It's been like that since I was born, so I got used to the idea. You catch her bright eyes through the amber dust. So did everything else that lives there. You feel something hard beneath your feet, beneath the sand, like a coil of rope. Look down. You instinctively look down and see something pale and twisted poking out of the sand. Aki sees you looking. This is step silk. It's one of the plants we established on step. She kicks away some red sand. Like any bast fiber, it can be retted and woven into clothes. I'm wearing some made from it myself. It's one of many species adapted to steppe since the Solheim collapse, which is why it must be preserved. She stares out into the swirling dust. It is as much a refugee as we are, and the dust houses hold hundreds of other species. You look at the pale, unassuming root, threaded thickly through the sand. Aki watches you silently. Had enough? It will be easier to speak outside. Aki leads you back out through the decontamination tunnel, which blasts the dust from both of you with a burst of metallic-tasting air and into the changing room. Aki hangs up both the masks, patiently awaiting your questions. What happened on Ember's step? Aki pauses, pulling her shawl around her. She looks small and pale inside its layers. Steppe was already a doomed world, she sniffs. When Solheim gave the terraforming contract to Sibel, they believed they could build an atmosphere, but the moon's erratic orbit made it impossible to maintain. By the time of the Solheim collapse, the atmosphere was already fading, and Sibel's attention was on Ember's hearth. After the collapse, Sibel fell too. Its researchers scattered across the moons, and any central organization lost. Since then, my parents' generation worked tirelessly to survive, to adapt what we had to the failing moon. The steppe silk, the other adapted species, are the life's work of the steppe's colonies. So when the flux started to collapse our computer systems, corrode and destroy our life support, our water supply, our agriculture, we had to leave. Aki sits heavily on a nearby bench. Soon, the only traces of steppe will be on this ship. Oh. Aki begins to cry quietly. You are unsure what to do. I'm going to sit beside her. You sit on the bench beside her as she sobs. You understand why this ship, why the refugees from steppe, are so different. Their world was already dying when the flux arrived. Ember's steppe is a terraformed moon, a partial atmosphere, established colonies, agriculture. And yet when the flux events started, its people had to leave. You think of the eye and the delicate web of decaying systems it rests upon. What hope does a ruined station have against a wave that corrupts, corrodes, and collapses? Aki interrupts your thoughts, rubbing her eyes. Not everyone left. There wasn't room to take all the people and fill the dust houses. My parents, their friends, and many others stayed. She sniffs. We carry the steppe for them. Perhaps there is hope. We learned not to talk of hope on a dying world. There is meaning for them, and any future they can build at the time they have. She stands up. I wanted you to understand the importance of these dust houses, of what they contain. She leads you back out into the corridor. If the flux events continue to reach out to the eye, we need to build protections to ensure their safety. Aki meets your eye. I can help. Aki smiles weakly. I knew it. You will be welcome on the wind's long shadow whenever you wish. These dust houses are already decaying. I have seen it. She stares into the dust. We had thought that they would last longer, but that last flux event. Help us. Aki looks at you. Please. I will. When you are ready, we will begin the preparations for reinforcing the dust houses. We need to be ready for the next flux event. Aki's eyes shine with the last of her tears. She takes a breath. I will see you soon. Aki drifts away down the corridor, leaving you alone once more at the viewing window, watching the ragged, delicate traces of the moon known as Ember's steppe. Oh, poor Aki. So we just gotta reinforce it. Engineering. Oh, that's +3. Okay. Good to know. This is safe. Let's do it. Alright. Yeah, it kind of seems like they only give a shit about Hearth. Which, not a huge fan of that. Okay, let's end the cycle. What's the active? Oh shit, is it Lem and Mina? Oh, please, no. Please. It's gotta be, isn't it? I knew it. Oh, God. There's no answer when you buzz Lem's unit, but the door is open. You push the door and find Mina, sitting in the middle of the floor, playing with Bun Bun. Where's Lem? Mina doesn't respond. She walks Bun Bun across the floor, narrating quietly to herself. You look around the unit. It is a mess. Dishes and glasses on the side, some of Mina's clothes piled up in a corner. Mina is sitting by her bag, which is spilled out across the floor, her drawing slate cracked and dark. I'm gonna tidy up. You start with the kitchen units, piling up the dishes in the auto wash and wiping them down. You pile the clothes up next, folding them neatly. Mina watches you quietly as she plays, curious but silent. You just started to look at fixing her cracked slate when Lem enters. Sleeper, what are you? He pauses and looks from you to Mina and back again. Never mind. He drops a bag by the door and slumps onto the couch. Everything okay? Lem lets out a weak laugh. You forgot the past few cycles now, too. Wish I was so lucky. He looks away at the open door. Look, now's not a good time. I want to help. Help? Unless you have a sidereal ticket or two on you, I don't think there's much you can do here. He pinches the bridge of his nose. You understand they never even put us on the list, right? I've been all around the rim looking for work, and I've run into more than a few from the crews. It turns out only long-time Haven Age members were issued those Celis ID numbers. They never planned to consider us. Haven Age say they didn't know that was what they were going to do, or going to use to make the draw, and who knows, maybe Celis pulled the wool over their eyes. What does it matter? All those hours in the yards for a hand-to-mouth wage and nothing else? He slams his hand down on the sofa. That can't be it. Well, it is. He looks at the open door again. They are moving the sidereal up to the hub now, you know, he says without meeting your eye. That's where it'll depart from. They are bringing in a ship with all their cryo-sleep pioneers, transferring them up there in microgravity before loading the crew. Oh, this doesn't seem like a good idea. I think it would be better to steal a ticket. We could steal a ticket. Lem laughs. There's no tickets. I was joking before. Just those ID numbers, coded to someone's identity. No stealing that. He looks over at Mina. Look, we'll be fine. We always have been. I just need a little time. He sighs. We had our hearts set on that trip is all. Mina comes over and climbs into his lap. He smiles. What if I got you on board? I missed you these past few cycles. I miss that optimism. Lem strokes Mina's hair. Look, you want to go up to the hub and ask around, be my guest. I can't get up there with Mina down here. And I'm sure the serial will bring in a crowd, but be careful. This kind of thing always attracts scammers and thieves. You find any way on board, you take it. You need help to get there? Ask me. But for now, me and Meanie here are sticking to the eye. She looks up at him and smiles. I'll find a way. For us all. Lem smiles but doesn't say anything. You stand to leave and Mina grabs your hand, eager to give you one more smile. And you are out, back in the walkways of the low end, already thinking of plans to make this right. How are we gonna do this? What's this? Haven Age offices. Empty container, the Bontion. How are we gonna pull this off? We haven't fed the cat in a while either, so. I'm scared. I'm scared. Okay. We'll buy some food for from Memphis. I think he's like the cheapest around, and also it gives you 3 energy, which is amazing. Yeah, so I don't see... Oh shit, we need another flux node. Can't believe we gotta use this. Flux data. Is there more than that? There is. God damn, there's another one. This better benefit us greatly, because I just used a lot of rolls on that. Okay. I don't see anywhere to do the Lem and Mina thing. Oh wait. I wonder if it's just like an empty promise. I wonder if I can even do it now. Alright, Aki, I'm most concerned about you. Hey, there we go. Alright. One more day of those. I think we're like... Did we do anything on this yet? Yeah, we're hella close on this too. Alright. Solid. Sleep at the Briar. Not ideal. Okay, let's see. Aki. I'll use a 3 on this. There we go. That gave me 3? Damn it. Alright, let's see what's good. You and Aki stand side by side at the viewing window in silence. The dust swirls and you glimpse the twisted root systems of the step silk through the ochre haze. After all these cycles, you feel a strange connection to a world on which you have never set foot. Aki shifts from foot to foot. She seems restless, eager to speak, but unsure of what to say. We did it. Aki smiles at you warmly. We did. She pauses and turns back to the window. What is the value of all of this? She asks suddenly. Of preserving a world we have left behind. Heritage. Aki is silent for a moment. Our practices, our lives require the materials, the patterns that step provides. But if those practices remain unchanged while the universe around them shifts, aren't they already dead? She pauses, What is better, to preserve at all costs, or to allow things to be changed or destroyed by change? Aki paces away, lost in thought. I'm grateful to you for helping protect the dust houses, for ensuring their slide into decay is delayed, even averted. But now I find myself at an impasse. The stability of the dust houses changes things. It makes me aware of how blinkered we have been. Aki stops to look at you, her posture somehow different. If the ecosystems of Steppe, if its people cannot grow to meet the future, why preserve it? She frowns. Are we just slaves to the preservation of what came before? Oh, God, this is fucking kind of a hard one to navigate. Slaves, inheritors. Inheritors, that's like a better way to put it. You're not slaves, you're inheritors. And as an inheritor, you can or cannot do whatever you want with what you've inherited, I guess. I don't know. Not slaves, inheritors. Aki nods, but the weight of this inheritance is heavy. Aki comes close, holds your hands in hers. We must change. We must change to live. She smiles. I have seen that in you. The steppe, these people, this ship, should serve more than the heritage, than history. They should serve the future. She takes a breath. There are those in the flotilla that need clothes, that need food, that can benefit from the gifts of the steppe's ecosystem. I want you to invite them. Can you do that for me? Of course. I know that soul sent you. She smiles. You can tell him Aki, captain of the Wind's Long Shadow, invites all the people of the flotilla to come. Captain? She smiles. You never asked. Aki steps away. You want to know about the flux, no? About its purposes, its origins? She smiles. You wish to protect your home as we could not. I'm afraid I don't have much to tell you. It is an exotic wave of sorts, an energy that passes through matter. It shifts the very charged particles which run through our electrical systems. It is possible to shield against it, as you would radiation, as we have done with the dust houses, but only while it is weak. The flux event here was much like the first ones we felt on Ember's Steppe. Localized, destructive but bearable, but in time its strengths grew. I don't know if it will be the same here, but... She pauses. It is coming from the center of the system, from the close orbit of Helion's star, H1. That is all we could uncover. She is silent for a moment, unsure of what to add. I'm sorry I cannot offer more, but you are always welcome on this ship. She smiles. I hope I will see you when the others come. She squeezes both your hands. I hope this ship, these dust houses, can be more than a museum. I hope they can be a home. With this, she turns and leaves. And you feel that word, home, resonating within you like a struck bell. Whew! Kind of gave me chills. Give me 1 second, y'all. Good Lord. Engineering, baby. Okay. Didn't get any scrap. That's unfortunate. Oh, hell yes. Okay. Sleeper. Peter calls to you as you cross the axis. He is standing by the same railing as you saw him last time, and he beckons you over. I've been hearing things. He gives you a sidelong look. Good things? Peter smiles. Mostly. He rubs his hands together nervously. You wait for him to speak. You know, on song, I was a teacher. He glances at you, anticipating a response. Really? Peter sighs. Don't sound so surprised. Mechanical engineering. It's an essential subject on a moon where a single mechanical failure could mean the deaths of hundreds. He looks at the ground. The heat, the atmosphere, the radiation, all of it is hostile to us. My students knew this. Their work, their training was respected. As long as they were careful and respected song themselves, they could have their choice of colony placements. They were always in demand. That meant I was respected, surrounded by friends and colleagues, always able to call in favors and repay them like for like. He frowns. Song colonies are small, close-knit. We look after our own. When the flux events started hitting, colonies went dark overnight. We all knew what those kinds of failures meant. Like always, we lost more people than any of the other moons. He balls his hands into tight fists. Not a single one of my students left song. Our future was cut off. Just like that. My future. He flexes his hands. What am I out here? What use am I? Song is a fading memory, and the systems we built there are useless outside its orbit. How am I supposed to move on from here? He looks at you, eyes steely gray and glinting. Find someone to teach. Peter pauses, thinking. You don't give up, do you, sleeper? You just keep going. You remind me of a student of mine, one who entered the program from one of the smaller colonies. They didn't have the advantages of some of the others, but they were stubborn as hell. At the end of the program, they were the most skilled of their peers. They didn't get the best assignment, maybe because they didn't spend much time making the kind of connections that would help you get there. But that didn't matter, because I knew they would make the best of anything they set themselves to do. Peter is smiling now, buoyed up by a little memory. Singers are stubborn, sleeper. We aren't going to change easily. We won't forgive easily or take help easily, but we'll hold strong. You can count on us for that. Peter stands from the railing. When you see Soul again, you can tell him that. You can tell him how the crews of Ember's Song operate. Tell him we will resist. If that means resisting Heart's imperialist ambitions, so be it. If it means resisting the Flux, so be it. And if it means to, as you have, help others resist those same pressures, so be it. Peter smiles, and then tell him to leave us alone. He turns, his step lighter, and heads off towards the center of the Axis's hub. Cute. Okay, Pilgrim Seed. Here we go, baby. One more day. I say we hit the stacks. We'll just pay for food there. There we go. And then why don't we hang out in the Haifa dorm tonight? Well, there's the last of my scrap. God, these rolls are dog shit. Okay. Oh, Peak's done. Pilgrim Seed is about to be done. There we go. Soul. Soul finds you deep in the layers of the Pilgrim Seed, working on a patch for a life support vent. You hear him coming, his suit hissing as he does. I had to ask around to find you, he smiles. Seems you know the place better than me these days. Doubt it. Soul nods. I was on the work crew that built this thing, so maybe you're right. He winks. Soul holds out a hand. Stand up. Let me see you. Pulls you to your feet. I don't believe we ever had a sleeper on Ember's hearth. Soul looks you up and down. You sure do make me wish we had. Could have done with a few workers as good as you. Thank you. Soul nods. You're welcome. Seems like I owe you some answers, seeing as you've been working hard on the Pilgrim seed these past cycles. He leans against a crate, his suit creaking. What do you want to know? The flux. That's what I imagine. He scratches his beard. Can't say I'm an expert, but I can tell you what we witnessed on Hearth. At first, we ignored it. A few farms had their automation systems blink out, lifter suits locked up, bots reset their schedules, nothing we hadn't seen before. But then the news came out of the Passereau that they had been hit harder. The local network had gone down, and no one could get it back up. It was rough for a while, but out in the farmland, we were used to that. Passereau? Capital of Hearth. Tens of thousands of souls made it their home. Soul grimaces. Anyway, we thought the flux was a freak event until the day they got the network up again. That's when the cascade happened. System after system corrupted, data lost. And then another flux hit, and another. The bots were running circles in the fields. People had to be cut out of lifter suits like mine. In the city, I never saw it, but I heard from the others. It only got worse from there. We couldn't seem to fight it. Cut us right open. That's what I know about the flux. Some folks say it came from the inner system, that it might be connected to some old tech there or something, but I had never heard anything more than rumors. Soul scratches their beard. Sorry, I don't have better news. He shifts on the crate. Anything else you wanted to ask? There was something. What do you want to know about? Ember's Hearth. Sure, he smiles. I mean, I spent my whole life on that rock, so I have plenty to tell. I'll save my life story for another time, he winks. But the short of it is that Hearth is the first of Ember's moons, the biggest and most populated, which is down to the successful terraforming systems Sibel set up back when Solheim owned the system. How are relations with the other moons? Soul smiles. Depends on who you've been talking to. Shouldn't mistake me for a politician, Sleeper. That's for others to do. He gives you a look. But Ember Step was a test ground for the terraforming tech that Hearth is built on, while Ember's Song was the extraction site for the raw materials and energy needed to make it work. You can imagine that might lead to some tension. However, Soul holds up a hand. Despite what people might say, Hearth was never fully stable. Soul shakes his head. Sibel liked to talk it up, but after they pulled out and Solheim left, our people discovered they'd have to keep the systems running themselves or the place would soon end up as dry as Steppe. Hearth was good as long as the evaporators kept running, kept filling our skies with clouds. Even after the collapse, our people kept those things going, turning that subsurface ocean into a periwinkle blue sky. Soul smiles. Flux ended that, though, and when they failed, the rains failed, and the harvest with it. Soul pauses. And soon you have a city without a way to feed itself. He shudders. That's when some of us, made the decision to set out on this place. He gestures at the Pilgrim seed. And look for another future. Soul shifts on the crate. Anything else you wanted to ask? I'm good for now. You sure? I'm sure. Soul stands, flexing against the suit. He takes his cane in his hand. Keep it up, Sleeper. He smiles as he leaves. You're making me think I need to start making new plans for this place. With that, Soul leaves, and you wonder what he means. As he creaks away down the corridor, you can't help but feel there's more to him than it seems. Wow. Oh, more. Okay. Should we just head right in? No, let's talk to Peak. Have you ever heard of Con Channel, Sleeper? Peak asks as soon as you enter the bay, as if you were in the middle of a conversation. There are heavy circles under their eyes, and you aren't sure if they've moved since you last visited. The console they are working at seems to have grown too, shadowing the slight frame in a wealth of screens and wires. Con? You mean for transit? Yes, exactly. Peak turns to face you. Kiyomani's active negotiation. The name of the effect used to transport trillions of tons of materials from the surrogate systems to the core. You might have heard of it in your physics classes. At XPR, they hammered the principles into us as kids. Con. Peak recites the definition as if in a classroom. A process of collapsing spatial causality along the Euclidean distance between 2 points by negating mass simultaneously at both ends of a geodesic curve. Essentially, Con channels allow for the near instantaneous transport of raw materials between systems. They require huge volumes of energy, of course, and decades of construction. Once a Con channel is established, it opens up a system for infinite exploration. The backbone of surrogacy is what XPR called them. Peak shakes their head. They might not be able to send anything more complex than a rock through them. Complex machines and people are, shall we say, reconfigured by the process. But for raw, molecularly pure materials, Peak flicks a hand. Whoosh. Where's this going? Peak pauses. What I was trying to find out was whether the Helion system, this system, ever had a Con channel. Con channels are vastly expensive to build, to run. Not every surrogate system has one. Many use fraction drive ships to transport their materials to the nearest hub. But Solheim, Peak smiles. Solheim spared no expense when they established this system. There's a Con channel? Yep. Peak's eyes light up. They shut it down before the collapse. They couldn't run the sender-receiver station anymore, but it was there. It still is, as far as I can tell, closely orbiting our star. In fact, Peak grins. They've been building to this. I'm sure it's still there, because one of the issues with the Con channels are the massive waves of exotic energy they can produce when cycling up. The flux. Exactly. Peak's face suddenly drops. Someone is starting up the channel. Why? Peak sucks in a breath. That? I don't know. They start counting off information on their fingers. They'd need a lot of resources to do it, and they'd need to have people from the core systems, but there's no real large-scale extraction in the Helion system anymore. So why would you go to the trouble? Just to trigger the flux? Peak rubs their red eyes. The flux, the wave, the Con effect produces is a side effect, a problematic one, but it isn't a destructive force. If it was, the core systems would have never been able to use it. So then why are colonies collapsing because of it? Why is it chewing through systems, the kind of industrial system set up to function within the range of a once active Con channel? Peak is getting frustrated. The moons of Emperor have been terraforming since before the collapse. They would have had to deal with the flux. Yet everything we have heard from the refugees said it brought down every system they had. Peak falls quiet, thinking it all through. Your mind drifts too, thinking of the Con channels, those vast acausal highways that prop up the core systems and their endless appetite for resources. This system has been quiet for decades. Solheim collapsed. Most corporations gave up their claims, and apart from the Celis ships that came to begin work on the sidereal horizon, no one from the core has come here in all that time. You shiver as you imagine the attention of the core, the systems of logic and exploitation that created your suffering, turning towards the Helion system. A floodlight turned to this dark corner. A shrill bleep catches both of your attention, and Peak rushes to a screen. One showing a crude map of the station. On it, individual markers begin to flare up with insistent chirps. Peak looks puzzled for a moment, and then their face drops. Oh, no. They lean in close. This doesn't make any sense. What's happening? The flux nodes are appearing elsewhere on the station. Peak pulls at their hair. I set this system to alert me to other flux nodes near the epicenter of the flux event. But these are everywhere. The hub, the low end, the shipyard. How can this happen? The only reason we saw flux nodes here is because it's the most rundown part of the station. They were barely shielded, but others appearing so far after the event. Peak turns to you. You're gonna need to get me the data from these nodes, and quickly. I'll keep looking at what I have here, but I need to know why they are popping up everywhere. Right now? Right now. We can talk more about con channels and system history when you're back, but this needs our attention right now. Peak turns quickly back to the monitor, their eyes following scrolling screens of code spewing from the newly fluxed nodes. You leave quickly, but struggle to shake the image of the spotlight from your mind. You feel watched as you cross back into the Pilgrim Seed, on your way to a shuttle bay. You hurry onward, eager to outrun the fear. I actually already have 2. So, where might they be? 1, we got knocked out. See, I wonder. Got them all, but I wonder if we go up the Ascender car. If we can find any up here. Yep. There we go. Alright, I got them all, Peak. Whoa, what was that? What's this? Sidereal dock? Oh, shit. I will get them on. I will get them there, I promise. Descend to the rim. Okay. Hurry. Stacks. Alright, we got this. We actually already have all 3, Peak. You watch as Peak works on the flux data, the nodes unfolding like flowers now, giving in to Peak's increasingly sophisticated decoding protocols. Seeing data like this as an image on a screen is an almost unrecognizable representation to you. It is nothing like swimming among nodes and threads. Despite this, Peak has proven themselves to be more than able to handle these complex data structures, even through this limited representational paradigm. The bay door hisses in it, interrupting your flow of thoughts. You turn to see Esh entering. Esh! She looks up and meets your eye, but doesn't respond. Esh stalks into the bay, head down. She looks tired and not in a mood to talk. How's the weapon hunt? Peak asks, without turning from their screen. Slow, unsuccessful, tedious. Esh slams a bag down on a crate and hops up to it to sit on it. You still unpicking balls of yarn? With the sleeper's help. Peak smiles. They brought me some good stuff from this cycle. Maybe they could help you find the weapons you were smuggling. It's clear that Ash doesn't appreciate Peak's tone. Still looking? Uh-huh, Ash replies. And whoever took them better be making the most of their rapidly shortening lifespan right now. Ash. Peak cuts in without looking away. We talked about this. This is my mistake, Peak, and I'll fix it how I want. Ash folds her arms. I know one of the factions of the flotilla has taken them. I just need to find out. Peak holds up a hand. Shh. They lean in towards the screen. Son of a... Oh no. They hit it in the wake of the wave. Peak is whispering to themselves. It's alive. They lean back in their chair. Ash crosses over to look at the screen. Alive? Well, it's growing. It's processing. It's quietly working away in the dark. Look. You cross over to the screen and stand beside Ash. In it, you can see that Peak has all 4 nodes decoded, and the pattern of shadows from inside them sit on the screen like dark stains. Then you notice it, the movement. The thin threads cross from one stain to another, As you watch, you notice that the movement only ever happens in your peripheral vision, as if this thing, the shadow, knows it is being watched. Interesting. This is how the other flux nodes appeared. Peak rubs their eyes. They weren't fluxed by the wave, they were corrupted after the fact. This thing, this shadow that entered in the wake of the wave, it corrupted them. But it made the corruption look like the result of the flux. It's a sleight of hand. Peak runs a hand through their hair. The flux wave is so massive, so complex that it opens up the systems to be attacked. As it reconfigures exposed systems, the shadow is broadcast in, implanted inside. The wave from the con channel, it is a brute force way of hitting every system in Helion. Once the systems are vulnerable, Peak looks pale. Their eyes reflect the screens. The flux isn't what's attacking the systems. It is the siege weapon, a Trojan horse. Then this thing takes over. Peak sits back in their chair. It's already on the eye. Wait. Ash rubs her forehead. You were telling me there's a con channel in this system? Shit. Peak isn't listening. This is bad. We have to take this to someone. Peak looks desperately at you. Oh, fucking A. It's already on the eye. Let's talk to Helene. Helene. Is that wise? Ash cuts in. Haven Age haven't exactly made good decisions lately. They are the station administrators, Ash. Peak is desperate. They need to know. The argument rages between them, and as you watch them shouting, you feel sick. After a while, they stop, running out of things to say. An unsettling silence descends on the bay. I need more time, Peak says quietly. I need to look at solutions. Try to build up a case. Collate the evidence. We messed this up. They look down at their hands. Ash goes to speak, and then thinks better of it. Not a word, Sleeper. Peak meets your eye. Don't tell anyone until they are ready. They sigh. The tension among the refugees, Sol won't be ready to hear this, and Helene and Haven Age are still mired in some kind of crisis. We tell Haven Age, they are likely to react badly, and if we tell Sol, I doubt he'll take it well either. If you can calm the situation in the flotilla, then we can choose. You are too twisted up in this, Peak, Ash says quietly. This is not our place. We don't owe. Stop, Ash. Peak slumps in the chair. Stop. You leave them like that, exhausted and troubled, and head back out into the Pilgrim Seed. When you close your eyes, you think of those shadows, that movement at the edge of your vision. Something dark, growing in the station like a parasite. You feel sick. Your vision blurs. What comes next? You stop in a corridor and take a breath, putting a hand on a rumbling metal wall. For now, the eye keeps spinning. For now. It's crazy. Interface, Intuit, Engage. I think Intuit is going to be my next one. Alright, let's talk to Sol. When you arrive at the bridge of the Pilgrim Seed, Sol is waiting for you. You wouldn't believe the messages that have come through in the past few cycles, Sleeper. He smiles. The ship from Steppe has sent a goodwill gesture, a whole cache of supplies from their own farms. He smiles. I'm not sure how we'll use them, but the gesture is a welcome one. Song, meanwhile, are apparently accepting supplies again, although a little reticently, if I may say so. Sol smiles. I don't expect them to change anytime soon, it should be said. And what I'm wondering, Sleeper, is what part you had in all this? Sol eyes you, waiting for an answer. I helped where I could. I've come to expect that of you, Sleeper. He smiles. You look at Sol, his eyes bright and eager, and wonder what he sees in you. You a tool to be used or an ally? It can be hard to tell. I want to show you something. Sol squeezes your shoulder, turning you to face the lift. He leads you along the axis of the ship, towards the engines, the clanking of his suit accompanied by the constant hammering and welding that fills the echoey bulkheads of the Pilgrim Seed at all hours. With the cordon lifted and shuttles able to go out to salvage scrap and barter for supplies, the ship has become a place of transformation, moving towards some state yet to be revealed to you. You look at Sol. What is his plan here? What is he preparing the pilgrim seed for? Or are his sharp eyes simply focusing on making it through the next cycle? Suddenly, Soul stops in front of a huge bulkhead door, like the seal on the front of a dry dock hangar. He signals to someone in a cabin high up, attached to the wall, and they begin the process of opening it up. The pilgrim seed was built as a short-range freight carrier, you know. The amber warning lights on the bulkhead door send spinning shadows across Soul's face. We built it to ship the entire harvest from thousands of farms to the silos at Passero. When we realized we'd need to leave, it was the biggest ship we could muster. Soul raps on her metal plate. And somehow she's carried us all the way out here. We? Farmers mostly, from outside the city and the edges. He flexes his shoulders beneath his suit. We saw it coming first, I guess. Knew it was time. Others didn't want to believe. I was a farmer, had a whole load of land and people to run it. And my people helped convert this place for the long trip. He looks at his feet. Others led, organized the evacuation, and debated the plan. What happened? Not one of those folks made it. Soul rubs his forehead. We were out in the black a long time before we got here, Sleeper. Things happen. The upshot is I was chosen to take over. I guess my crew trusted me, and I knew the ship. I argued, reminded them I'm no leader, and that I'm sick. But, well, when service chooses you. A loud klaxon sounds, indicating the bulkhead doors are ready to open. They groan as they slide back, the metal squeals echoing through the vast ship, bouncing off its hard-plated walls. At first all you see is darkness, then the lights go on, in huge strips that stretch back and back as far as you can see. The space in front of you, a vast bay, bigger than any you have ever seen, is empty. When we left Hearth, we didn't have the time or resources to convert the entire ship. Soul begins leading you into the massive space. So much of the freight space we sealed away, shut down. But now, we have time, we have resources. We stabilized here, at least for the moment. Soul turns to you. Now is the time we make use of all this. What are you planning? What do you think happens next for the Eye, Sleeper? Soul sighs. The flux has already hit one part of the station. From what I know, it'll hit again. On Hearth, we lost everything. There isn't much time, Sleeper. There's enough time to do something. Think of the number of people we can fit on here. The farming stacks, the housing. Hell, we can plant some of those mushrooms you love so much. This is the way forward, the only way. We need to fill this ship with able bodies and head for the starboard belt. I thought the Eye was your destination. It was, until the flux hit here. Now it's just another stop. I'm glad of the chance to resupply and salvage, but we need to go further out. I want you to help me. You know the Eye. You have connections, and you can work hard. I've seen it. Soul meets your Eye. I know you are like me, Sleeper. You didn't choose service, but it chose you. I don't know. I know it's a lot to think about, Sleeper. Trust me. Soul begins to lead you back out of the bay. But think of what we can do here. The flotilla can't last forever. We need more than just farmers to make this work. We need to build a new world for ourselves. I've heard that out there in the belt, there are people who have been setting up since the collapse, making something of their own. That's our future, tucked away in those rocks, far from all of this. Soul sighs. I didn't bring my people here to just let them die somewhere new. Soul crosses back over the threshold of the bay and signals for the operator to close it up. The door groans and Soul waits for it to stop. Think about it, Sleeper. Soul claps an arm on your back. But don't wait too long. This is happening soon. And he leaves you there, in the silence of this vast bay, your head spinning with the thought of leaving the Eye. I don't want to. I don't want to leave it. Episode Refuge. Oh my god. Okay. We gotta go help. Whatchamacallit? Lemon Mina. Promised I would. This is getting kind of crazy. I know we're at an hour and 5 minutes. I'm hurrying. Okay. Scout the dock. What's the risk? Yeah, buddy. What's the risk? I'm addicted to risk. Oh. We've got one cycle. Okay. I'm actually just gonna pay to sleep here, I think. Oh, no, I'm not. 40? I'll sleep at home, thank you very much. Okay. Oh, we don't have any more scrap. Okay. I can help Lemon Mina. And then we can end it. End the episode. I'll be quick. I'm gonna work from NG. No, I'm not. I'm gonna do this first. I am really gonna miss this soundtrack. Okay. Oh shit! Whoa. Quite the achievement, isn't she? Senator Celis must be proud. You recognize the resonating voice of Castor immediately, and turn to see him, hooded and tucked into the shadows near the viewing platform. Castor, I see you remember our game. Good. He looks around, but the platform is clear. I'm afraid you'll have to wait for a rematch. Microgravity makes travel a little difficult. He smiles broadly. Castor walks out to stand beside you on the platform. The telltale clunk of magnetic boots accompanies his slow crossing. He notices you looking at them. I don't much like it up here, he explains. I hear there was some trouble at the Haven 8 shipyard when they announced the results of the crew lottery. They screwed us. I know. He sighs, meeting your eye. An ugly business. Celis are too used to the way things work in the Corps. Exploitation is the only logic they know. He gestures out at the sidereal. You know why they built this monstrosity on the eye? Control. Certainly, there is no corporate oversight out here. But that's not all. He stares at the pristine yellow hull. Celis built it here, says Castor gravely, because they didn't want anyone to know it exists. He rubs his forehead. And secrecy is something I cannot abide. He turns to face you. There are people being loaded onto that ship as we speak. Sleeping people, locked in cryo-sleep like the person that you were emulated from. There are hundreds of them, and Celis wants to send them out to a planet at the edge of the settled systems without anyone knowing where it is. But you, Sleeper, can do something about that. You are like me. You deal with data. You can read it right out of the air. With someone like you on that ship, secrecy isn't a problem. You could ping back whatever I need, whenever I need it, as long as you are on board. With you on the sidereal, and with some minor modifications, he pauses, you can be my eyes and ears. I will keep track of Celis' grand project through you. In short, says Castor, stretching, I can get you on board, Sleeper, but I'm going to need you to help me. Who are you? I'm a concerned party. Someone who likes to know what is happening when it is happening, not afterwards. It's not just me. Yes, your friend Lem, that can be arranged. It is difficult, but not impossible. The condition is, of course, that you go too. No. Castor clunks closer to the window, watching the tugs wheeling around the sidereal. It's a simple offer. And the only one that will get you on that ship. Please consider it. He turns back, silhouetted against the ship. "But to make it happen, I need your assistance," as I said. "There is a Celis Foundation ship docked in the now empty shipyard. I need the data from its servers. This will allow me to produce the IDs necessary for your transit." Castor looks over his glasses at you. "Celis aren't stupid, though. Their ship is totally isolated from the station. You'll need to get on board if you want access to their air-walled servers. Once you have the data, meet me at your friend's unit so we can give him the good news." He smiles. "I noticed his importance to you, and the little one. So cute. You don't extract the data before the Sidereal Horizon leaves the hub, then I will get the message. We have other options, but you are certainly my preferred one. But be sure when you act, Sleeper. Once you take the data from Celis, you'll set off a series of events that will likely be hard for you to untangle yourself from. Either way, I recommend you stop asking around up here. You are bringing a lot of attention to yourself." Castor glances around as if to emphasize his point. "There are only a handful of cycles until departure, Sleeper. Make your decision." With that, Castor marches off the platform, the sound of his mag boots fading away, leaving you to contemplate the Sidereal Horizon and the part it may play in your future. I don't know. We got some dice left. I feel like I owe it to Lem and Mina. We failed that fucking drive. I owe it to them. I gotta do it. Shit. I do. Only if I fail, correct? Oh, that's it? Action unavailable? Okay. I think it's worth it. 53 cryo and the Celis data. You are in. Maybe if you do this right, you might be able to pull something more than just IDs. Okay. Shit, dude. Endure. I'll take it. What I really needed was some scrap there. Okay. Oh my god. So stressful. I have like just enough time to maybe help Peek and Ash. And decide if I want to leave on the Sidereal. I'm so torn. It's like I owe it to Lem and Mina, and truly the only way I can get them off is me having to go too. But at the same time, I've told so many people I would stay here, and if the eye is just gonna get fucked, then I kind of want to be here when it happens. I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna use this real quick. And I'll call it the end of an episode. This one was stressful. Sorry it went a little long, y'all, but thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for what seems like it might be close to the finale, if not the finale. So I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.